Beating wives in Islam, the biggest hoax and double standards of Western liberal communities, the biggest hypocrites. Oh, look at this medieval law, look at Islamic law, look at the Quran, look how it commands to beat a wife, look at this barbaric teaching, look at this, look at Islam. And these hypocrites sitting in a glass house throwing stones, these hypocrites, they advocate that their own laws discipline and punish people for disorderly conduct in society. Police officers, legitimizing police officers to use capsicum spray, batons, even in some cases dogs, to maul, humiliate, apprehend certain individuals for breaking the law or not cooperating with police officers. If a police officer says, get out of the car, I need to do a random search, and you're acting disorderly and you're not obeying commands, he can apprehend you, arrest you. He can bend your arm, cause you pain and difficulty. And you want to have the audacity to criticize Islam for physical abuse, for taking disciplinary measures? How dare you? How dare you even speak when your own laws that you support physically abuse both men and women? How dare you? Oh, but that's justified because, what are we going to do? Are we going to apprehend and discipline people who break the law? I mean, what are we going to do? Are we just going to sit there and allow this to happen? So what, according to your law, that you support physical abuse because you want order, public order. You want to establish peace and security within your society. This is all justified. Violence is justified. But when the Quran commands that a man can mildly discipline his wife in order to safeguard his marriage, to show and exhort and exercise his frustration, to show that he's angry as a point of a symbolic gesture, to show that he's serious about a situation, to exhort his displeasure because he's been wronged, greatly wronged, and he mildly smacks her on the shoulder to say, shape up, woman, I'm angry, I'm upset. So this is unjustifiable. This is not right, because the same West, they don't care about marriage. They don't care about marriage. They want you to have divorces. They want you to have separations. They don't want any hierarchy. They don't want any discipline. They don't want any respect. But they believe in hierarchy within their governments. You need to obey the law. Who is the law? It's the government. Their hierarchy. This is the pinnacle of their principle. You go against the law, we're going to beat you up. We're going to abuse you. Right? But respecting the man, the hierarchy, no, there is no hierarchy there. Oh, this is masculinity. This is, how dare you impose your masculinity. The hierarchy, the patriarchy, marriage, how dare you. But the boss at work, he must be obeyed. Yes, the government, they must be obeyed. Mostly who are men in power, right? They must be obeyed. They are the law. Wallahi, Islam is so beautiful that the physical abuse in Islam doesn't even compare. You can't even leave a mark. You can't even bleed. You can't break the skin. You can't give her a black eye. This is forbidden. It's just a mild tap on the shoulder. Shape up, woman. No, how dare you? But these hypocrites allow a dog to bite another human being while he's in agony and pain on the ground. Obey the law. We're going to get dogs to put teeth marks into you. We're going to use horses to trample over you if we could. We saw the crowd control. Do a protest or crowd control, you'll get a baton in your face. You'll get a baton over your head. Yeah, you accuse the Taliban running around using, haram police batons to beat Afghani women. What do we see in your West, in your protest? Police using batons, capsicum sprays to put public order, to discipline. And Islam doesn't even allow that. That Islam doesn't even allow against your wife. You can't use a dog, a capsicum spray. You can't use batons. You can't do any of that stuff. And you want to criticize Islam while closing your eyes on your Western standards, you hypocrite. And you want to throw a stone sitting in a glass house. Shame on you. Wallahi, these hypocrites are such hypocrites. They even say, I've read a lot of the articles, a lot of the videos in American shows where there's so many disobedient children. And they say that you can mildly smack them on the bum. This is part of disciplining them. And we need to discipline them this way. And if we're not a little bit harsh with children, then they're going to grow up and break the law. And this is why society has so many children, so many minutes in society, why kids don't respect the law anymore. Of course, you'll have the liberal, the Greenpeace think tanks and the watered down, skimpy leftists who will always preach, oh no, we need more proper education instead of physical violence when it comes to dealing with children. We shouldn't even smack them gently on the bum so they can shape up. No, we don't do that anymore. We're in the 2023. We're in the modern world. This is where we can actually discipline them without, referring to any sort of physical violence. We could educate them. And what? Youth crime is going through the roof. Disrespecting parents are going through the roof. In fact, giving power to the children so much so that if a parent yells at a child, he can now call the police and report their parents, because now apparently that shouting at your child is part of physical abuse or mental abuse, as they call it. Wallahi, and now I'm seeing children are beating their parents. They're beating their parents, and the parents, these poor parents, now they can't even call the police because the parents are like, I don't want to tell the police because I don't want my child to have a criminal record under his name. You know how many parents I know? How many parents I know who complain that they're getting beaten up by their children, their young children, because they took away physical discipline when they were young. They listened to these leftists that, oh, no, we could just talk to them. I'm not saying talking to them doesn't help. Of course it does. But every child is different. Some of them, yes, you can talk to. Others you can't. You need to put them down and spank them on the bum and say, enough. It's part of it. Every child is different. Every circumstance is different. Oh, no, you can't do that. But I find it hilarious when you see a woman who found her husband sleeping with another woman and she confronts him. She slaps the guy in the face. And I've seen many videos like this, in the cheating videos, exposing, right? And you see in the comments, oh, this was well deserved. He deserved this. He deserved this. He should have seen what was coming. How dare he betray her like this? Apparently physical violence is now justified. Justified now. If a woman is defending her own honor and her own dignity, it's apparently justified. If a man did the same thing, how dare he? Oh, he's imposing his masculinity. Oh, he must be insecure. Look at his insecurities. Slapping her Slapping her because he found her cheating. Look at this, is his male dominance. How dare he? It is so tragic that forget this. Forget a husband mildly disciplining his wife. Forget that. Suppose, he found her talking to another man and he mildly disciplined her, and none of this isn't allowed. Forget that. These people don't allow you to discipline children. Forget that. They're now trying to take power from the police, so the police don't discipline those who are acting out of orderly. Now police officers, law enforcement agencies are afraid to actually apprehend someone. They're afraid. They're reluctant. They're spending now hours and hours trying to talk down a person who's a potential violent person. Back, a couple of years ago, it was like, just shut up, bang, 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 throw him in the dibby van, into the police car, off your way. Now the police have to come there. He has to do a full psychological analysis, a check, a psychiatric. They're having a discussion now. It's called, de-escalation. Having a full conversation, coffee, tea. Because there's like 500 cameras and video cameras pointing at the police officer. Every move he makes is being judged now because of one bad apple, where, that it costed the death of one black man, where they pushed on his neck and so forth. Because of that and a few other bad apples, now we're going to check all the police. And this process is wasting all of these valuable resources, right? Where police officers are now stuck here trying to deal with one mental case, because it's going to take now an hour of, discussion and de-escalation, and, we need to calm the situation down. We need to tell this guy 1,000 times to jump out of his vehicle. 1,000 times. The police officer seriously is like, just jump out of the vehicle. I need to do a check. Jump out. No, I don't have to. This is my right. Blah, 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 blah. This is my right. This is my right. Wasting valuable time when the police officer, we're already stretched with the resources. We don't have enough police in the police force. And now the leftists are telling us, we need to now, de-escalate. We need to have a giddy talk. Like the criminal is a police officer's golfing buddy. And then when a criminal activity happens, such as a bank robbery or someone gets murdered and the police don't get there on time, then we complain, why isn't the police here on time? Well, he's not here on time because apparently he's trying to de-escalate your liberal views and trying to get someone out of a police vehicle. When it could have just taken the officer 1 minute, now it takes him 45 minutes to get one person out of the vehicle. Now, it's gone so out of hand that even the public have started complaining. They look at all of these cases where police officers are being physically abused now, mentally and physically abused. That a lot of the comments you see on Facebook or on YouTube on some of these videos where it shows a criminal taking advantage of a police officer, people say, lucky these are Australian police. American police would not even tolerate this. They are acting like this because they're dealing with Australian police, not American police. And this is the reason, again, another reason why crime is going through the roof. Children disrespecting their parents going through the roof. Divorce rates are going through the roof because they're ruining the hierarchy. They're getting rid of this, this leadership role. They're removing all that from society. They're saying you're equal. You and the wife are completely equal. You and the government are completely equal. You criminals are completely equal with the police officers. You suspects are completely equal. But the only time that physical pain, physical abuse, the only time when it's acceptable is when it's consensual. It's when it's consensual, right? So if a woman wants to be intimate with a man and a man wants to be intimate with a woman and they have consensual sexual intercourse and they want to play a bit kinky, he wants to put her in a choke, he wants to pull her hair, sorry for me getting into details, he wants to use a whip and spank her. Oh, this is completely acceptable because it's two adults consenting to this. For sexual purposes, apparently physical pain for sexual purpose, this is perfectly justifiable. But physical discipline in order to save your marriage, how dare you? How dare you do that? Again, they don't want marriage to be saved. They don't take marriage seriously. They want to ruin marriage. They want you to have a divorce because it's going to put more single people in society. More single people in society means more women and men available on dating websites because fornication is what they like. One night stands is what they like. It's part of their sexualized society. It's why they even program and brainwash your children with LGBTIQ homosexuality. Because there's not enough gay people out there. There's not enough gay people on websites and dating websites. We need more because when you look at the demographic, more people identify as what? As straight people. So no, we need more meat on the market. We need to raise a generation where we have more homosexuals because that feeds into our opportunity to gain more access into fresh meat. We don't want women to wear the burqa or the hijab or the niqab. We don't want this. Again, we're a highly sexualized society. We want to see women being liberated. And what do they mean by women being liberated? We want to see women to have the freedom of choice to wear what they want. And what they want really is what the devil inspires them. And that is to be obnoxious, to be open, to be to half naked, almost naked. Because this gives you freedom. Why would you have to wear that garb? Beautify yourself, look good. And it does. It's inviting. And you don't even have to be a Muslim to know this. Christians know this. According to their Bible, Jesus himself was tempted. That the devil came to Jesus, took him to a high mountain and showed him all the kingdoms of the earth and said, I will give you all of this. What did he mean by all of this? What was he talking about? He was saying all the fahisha, all the evil, all the sin, all the women, all the fornication, adultery, all of this. I'll give you all the treasures. Just worship me instead of God. This is according to their Bible. So when a woman says, I feel liberated, I feel free, I feel I can wear what I want, I can do what I want, I can sleep with as many men as I want, I can go out and I can do this and I can do this. Because why should I be subjugated to religion? that commands me not to do these things. Why should I oppress myself? Because God said, don't do it. It's part of the test. And if you don't do it now, He's going to give you something better in the afterlife. He understands you have temptations. He understands that these things are tempting. But He says, I'm going to give you something better. This is part of your test. No, but I don't believe in God. I don't believe in the day of judgment. I don't believe in afterlife. I want it now. I don't want to be oppressed by having to pray 5 times a day and fast during Ramadan and having to not drink alcohol. I want to eat pork and I want to do all of these things. Allah says, then do it. Do it, you'll not get anything in the afterlife. If you want to sell your religion for this dunya, go for it. Go for it. But the true believers will get to rejoice with their God in the hereafter, with an everlasting enjoyment. So enjoy, you can have it, you can disobey and have it if you want. You can go for it. But you have sold this dunya for the akhirah.